What's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome to the lab. I'm your host. How do I sound? How does the mic? How's our audio out there, folks? First and foremost, let's just get that out of the way. Sounds good on my end. I can never tell anymore. But all right, good. So we're sounding good. We're feeling good. Sounding good. We're good. And one-eyed Flo, she claims to only have one eye, but he has two. Gail, thank you for gifting a membership as well. Dr. Gary in the house. What's up, Doctor? Great show last night on the interview room. If you haven't, go ahead and check out the interview room. It was a great show. I enjoyed it. I always feel blessed to be asked to go on. It was very. Yeah, it's a great show. I still have the lab stickers on my truck mirrors. I love that. Shout out. Wait, what? That's awesome. Appreciate it. Mystic Firefly. Thank you. Anyway, it's good to be here. It's good to see you. Get the music off, I'm sure, at some point here shortly. It is great to be here. I know it's late, but you get in where you fit in. Sometimes you feel compelled to do something, and I guess I felt compelled to do this live because sometimes history escapes us. And I was thinking about the first time that I had contact with Mr. Donald Wesley. I think it is Donald Wesley Wells. I think is his middle name, Wesley. And I don't know how many of you have ever heard this, but it didn't happen on my channel. It actually happened on Ziggy's channel at the time. And you'll hear a couple of cameos. You'll hear a couple of cameos, a couple of voices you may or may not recognize. But let me just take a look here. And Meme Gene, good to see you as well. And then I'm telling you, it is funny too, because so it was a live going on. I was actually in the chat watching the live, and this was so long ago. This was before I knew I pretty much anybody on YouTube. I knew a couple of people, maybe, sorta, kinda. There was a show that I used to go on that I should have never gone on. but I did. I was there in all my glory. But then I was listening to this live, and I was listening to Don, and I had written down some questions if I had ever if I ever get a chance to ask him. And I I'll let you decide, but I think that during the process of me asking the questions, I was fair. I thought I was fairly decent. There's a time or two where he kind of gets a little pissed off at me. Shocker. It's all right. I didn't mind, but he did. He absolutely got pissy with me. Oh my god. It's so funny. This was probably my first like 4 or 5 months on YouTube. Maybe. Maybe. I can't even. It was so long ago that when it came up, I was looking at my videos and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe that this happened. But I'm going to play it. We're going to listen to it tonight because it was interesting. And it was probably the most cordial interaction that him and I had ever had. And it really wasn't that cordial, but it was okay. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. Yeah, this is when he said, he insinuated, but he's insinuated that a couple of times that I was the one that may or may not have kidnapped Summer, which is a completely disgusting situation. You'll see what is a thing to say to me, but he lashed out, and ever since the 3-year anniversary of her going missing, I have felt sort of reinvigorated into this case because it really doesn't sit right with me. It just doesn't sit right with me. I feel a certain way about it. I've tried to feel certain ways about it. I have tried to convince myself that it's not what it seems, but I keep coming back to law, or not law. I keep coming back to Occam's razor. I keep coming back to sensibility, or at least my sensibility, which may or may not be sensible. I don't know. I just know how I feel. And I've always tried to be as empathetic as possible. Yeah. Yes, I remember. I remember the pedo in the shadow, and that was not empathetic. That was me. Yeah, I did do. I did. I mean, it was funny. That wasn't empathetic though. Nah, it wasn't. But it was funny. But it wasn't empathetic. But you know what? I didn't know that at the time. Nor now it's just like deserves it. Like he's a jerk. I haven't talked to the guy in some time, nor do I want to. To JPL. Good to see you. Thank you. And Laura. Thank you. And Drew K. What's happening, folks? It's good to see you guys. I think I did Diddler on the Roof too. I did Diddler on the Roof. And yeah, I have probably spent too much time thinking about this case, but it's not really something that I hinder myself from. It's just that your mind gets going in a million different directions. Yeah, there was no F's and stuff. There's still no. Yeah, we'll see what he's up to tomorrow. We'll hang out. I don't really want to talk to him. Him and I have talked enough to last us a lifetime, unfortunately. Yeah, I did Diddler on the Roof and Pedo in the Shadow. Dr. Gary would be so proud. He'd be like, that's Josh. Good job. Yay, Josh. I'm just kidding. And Joe Southaws. Those were good old days. I was. Yeah. Dr. Gary is running. I don't blame him. Head for Z Hills. That was I don't know. Yep. Everybody remembers. People never forget. It's good. It's good. I'm glad you guys remember. Oh, geez. Okay, let's just get going because this is a little more professional. He deserved it, I thought. Pissed me off. Okay. Here we go. So I'll set the scene again. This is when he was on Ziggy's channel. There was a huge panel, and I wouldn't say I kind of crowbarred myself in. I was like, let me get up there. I really, really wanted to get up there. I was like, let me get up there. And after some time, I was extended an olive branch, and then I basically asked everybody to clear out. That's what I swear. I was like, hey, can you guys just back down? Give me a couple of minutes. I'll be done. It lasted 20. And please just let me get in there. And I got in there. And this is what happened. Hi, Don. My name's Josh. It's nice to talk to you. I've never talked. That's a young Josh. Young Josh in his prime before and I mean, if this is my prime, holy crap. Before, but I've been following this case.
You too, bud.
Starts off so nice and innocent, like we're very friendly. Nice, sort of. Let's talk to you. I've never talked to you before, but I've been following this case.
You too, bud.
Now, I won't lie to you. I've been critical of you.
Right.
And
okay.
Suspicious of the entire situation.
Well, most people have, bro.
Yeah. Hey, you know, it is what it is. Now, my question, that I've always wanted to ask you is, do you understand why people think that you guys aren't being fully transparent? I mean, does that make sense to you in the public?
Well, yeah.
That's when the brother started. Hey, brother, how you doing? We started on that. How you doing, brother? This is way before Sketch ever started saying brother. We've been saying brother forever. How you doing, brother? How you doing, brother? Because when I ask that question, it just seems as though it almost seems just impossible that nobody knows anything more than she was just taken.
Yeah, it does. It does, and I've heard that from so many people, and I get it. I really do. It just seems it does. It seems that way. And the only difference is, I mean, I know my wife. I know where I was, and we definitely know for a fact she was abducted because she's not here. I know that, and my wife knows that, but to prove that to y'all, that's a whole nother ball game.
When was the last time that you spoke to law enforcement?
It's probably been a couple weeks ago.
It's really funny too, because when this started, I wasn't I don't know. I was just trying to be like straightforward and quick about my questions because I was kind of invading somebody else's time and they were gracious enough to let me do it. And so I was asking questions fast and then trying to move on. And it was all right.
And I'm not trying to say anything bad about them. I mean, they have their job to do. I've blown up on them a few times. I get frustrated. I get mad. I say stuff I don't mean. I just, I'm so upset. I say bad stuff. I cuss. I don't mean to, but at least I'm being real. I'm telling you how my feelings. I mean, yeah, I freaked out a few times, and I've say stuff about law enforcement because I'm upset, but I don't know what they're doing exactly, No, I'm listening to you.
No, well, I was just going to ask another question, but I want you to finish your answer. I do.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure how to answer that. What was the question again? Sorry.
Well, let me, because I don't have a lot. I don't want to take up too much of Ziggy's time, but I do want to ask.
You're fine.
Well,
You're
no,
fine.
Are you related to Ronnie Lawson? Is he your cousin?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean,
Have you heard that
like I was
rumor?
saying earlier, my dad, I have heard that. As far as I know, I'm not related to him.
So you have no
But
relationship.
my dad run away. No.
And also, a couple weeks ago, you did an interview that, with one of the local stations around there. And Ronnie Lawson also chimed in, and he did refute almost everything that you claimed. How do you feel about that? I don't. I should have landed that a little softer, but I mean, he really did. Every single thing he talked about. He's like, no, this and then that. I mean, he literally shot down every single thing that he said. Every single thing. One by one by one by one by one. I don't know if you saw that around there. Interview that I didn't know how else to ask the question. I don't know if I would now. One of the local stations around there, and Ronnie Lawson also chimed in, and he did refute almost everything that you claimed. How do you feel about that? I don't know if you saw that.
Well,
he said there were
nothing
no
I can do about that. Yeah, there ain't nothing I can do about that.
Children. He said the scream was unfounded. He said that the dogs did find the trail, and that. So I'm just wondering, what is your response to that? I mean, he's saying, that's his phone pinging over and over and over. Everything, each key point. He's saying people aren't missing there. Yeah. Nobody else is missing.
Yeah, not from this area. That's true. That's true. There hasn't been any other kids come up missing from this area, and that bothers me. But I know that there are a lot of missing kids from Eastern Tennessee in this area, not in particular Beach Creek area. But I do know what happens on our street, and I do know what kind of stuff happens. Ronnie Lawson doesn't live on our street. He don't know what happens around here on a day-to-day basis. I do. I mean, we live here. We see what goes on down the road. And
Ronnie Lawson's been the sheriff for a really long time. Really long time.
He's what?
And he's been the sheriff there for quite some time. Ronnie?
I misunderstood you, buddy.
I said Ronnie Lawson, the sheriff, has been the sheriff there for a really long time.
No, he really hasn't.
All right, so I'll read.
When he come into power, when he first come into power here, he busted a lot of drug stuff. All
right, so Sheriff Ronnie Lawson started serving as chief deputy officer in 1990.
Around here,
has been serving Hawkins County since 1977.
First coming to power, I remember I was here. But since
Lawson has been the top law enforcement official since 2000.
Been in power. I mean, I don't know what all they've done.
So that's like 14 years. Started in 1977. I think I was right when I said what I said. And of course, he's got to argue with me about it. But I was. He doesn't know. He doesn't know anything, apparently. He's just got to argue with me. He's just like, whatever, dude. It's like, well, all right, dude, whatever.
Done, but I mean, I try not to get in power here. When he come into power, when he first come into power here, he busted a lot of drug stuff around here. He shut a lot of stuff down when he first come into power. I remember I was here. But since he's been in power, I mean, I don't know what all they've done, but I mean, I try not to get involved with what's going on around here. I try to stay out of the drug scene and everything. But I'll say this. The last 7 people I've hired in a row, I've fired for being on dope.
Okay, so this is actually first verse, same as the second, but you'll hear it.
If that tells you any damn thing.
And it didn't tell me any damn thing. Well,
okay, I don't have nobody working with me currently because I can't find nobody that doesn't do dope. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I can't have that kind of crap on my job, or you can't use somebody like that.
Okay.
Okay.
Like calling the kid black.
And if you didn't notice, that is your one and only local prayer gardens telling Don that he's calling the pot, calling the kettle black.
You guys use drugs. You ain't gonna hire somebody that's doing drugs, but you do them yourself.
I don't use drugs.
Right. Wait. Prayer garden. No, I'll let you get back to it. Let me just streamline this really fast, because I was like, okay, let me get out of here. Let me just do this real fast. I'll let you guys have a history. I'll let you get.
So I'm
black.
Okay.
Okay.
Like calling the kid black. You guys use drugs. You ain't gonna hire somebody that's doing drugs, but you do them yourself.
I don't use drugs.
Wait. Prayer garden. No, I'll let you get back to it. Let me just streamline this really fast, because I'll let you guys have a history, and I don't, and I want to just get out of the way. But I do have a couple. Let's say we probably have. I'd say we probably have a history at this point. We didn't then. No history. This is the maiden voyage. More questions. So
okay. Where are you from, brother?
And this is where it starts to like for a little. I'm from California. So
okay. Where are you from, brother?
I'm from California.
Where are you from? Are you from? Okay, you live in California, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Certainly. All right. And you don't live here in Tennessee. Okay.
But we have drugs here too. That's not.
Well, I know. I just left LA. I just left LA. I know all about it. I seen it all. I couldn't wait to get that hell out of there.
It's not just an Eastern Tennessee thing. It's a United States. Well, shut up, States thing. Drugs here too. That's not.
Well, I know. I just left LA. I just left LA. I know all about it. I seen it all. I couldn't wait to get that hell out of there.
It's not just an Eastern Tennessee thing. It's a United States thing. And I mean, I would venture myself to be somewhat cultured and do understand certain areas. And I'm not saying that you don't have a drug problem, but the fact is that Ronnie Lawson did say that you have little to no traffic going up your road. What do you say to that?
He don't live on my road.
I understand.
He don't live on our road, brother.
Well, I understand.
He does not live on my damn road. He lives in town in some nice house somewhere. He don't live on my road.
But he wouldn't have an idea of it. He just has.
I know my road. I know my road better than Ronnie Lawson does. I'll tell you like that. I'm not trying to be against him or whatever. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one that took the pictures of that red truck. I'm not trying to go against the man, but I will say I live on my road. He doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be against law enforcement or anything else. I'm not trying to dispute what they say or anything else. But I'm not naive either.
And so what you're basically saying is that, there is a lot of traffic on your road.
There was. There ain't now.
Right.
I don't know. I work every day, but as far as I know, the traffic isn't as bad as it was because every chance I get, when I'm on the news or anything else, that's what I talk about, and it's slowed down a lot. As far as I know, I don't know for sure. But hell yeah, I'm trying to slow it down. I'm trying to stop it. I'll do anything I can. I hate that stuff. I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't want my kids to be around it. It's wrong.
Sure.
You know.
Do you think that they're gonna, in your opinion, railroad you for this? Do you think that that's what's gonna happen?
You can't do that with no evidence. That's impossible, bro. How can you do that? You
well,
gotta have
evidence. I don't know what evidence they have. I don't know.
They don't have no evidence, and there's no way they could ever have evidence because it's impossible.
Yeah.
Proof make no sense.
Well, proof of life is evidence, and there's nothing suggesting that she's actually alive, is there?
Well, no, we don't have no evidence of anything. We don't know what happened.
Yeah,
I wish we did. If we knew what happened to her, we'd be all over.
And I have said this. I don't know what happened, and I don't know if you did anything. I don't know if Candace did anything. I know that Summer.
I don't know if you've done anything.
Well, see, I don't
know if you come down here and know something.
Yeah, right. Well, that's kind of a sidestep, right? Because, I mean,
come on.
Wouldn't you be the suspect and not me? I mean, I live in California.
I don't know
kid's
where
the one
you've been
missing, not mine, Don.
It sounds like you're kind of being a little bit out there, dude.
No, I'm just asking.
My kid's missing, but
I'm just asking.
I don't know what the hell you're trying to ask, dude.
I'm trying to ask you if you know if more happened than what you've told.
If I knew what happened to my daughter, I would be all over it, and she would be home. If I knew anything, she would be here with me. I love my daughter with all my heart.
And I found that kind of interesting when I said, I'm just asking you if you know more than you've told. And his response to that was, if I knew my daughter would be home. You know, and the whole no evidence, because there could never be evidence. But then he's told other people that he was afraid. And later on down the road, he even told me that he was afraid that he was going to be blamed for this and that he shouldn't be blamed for it.
I mean, I know everybody, I don't know why everybody tries to implicate or say that I've done this or I've done that. I don't understand why that has happened so bad. I don't get it. I don't understand that. Yeah, I do have a criminal past. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you, but when I got my kids, I fell in love with my kids. I understand that kind of stuff. Why do you think we was in church? Why do you think I took my kids to church? Do you think I'd waste my time to go get in church if I was still a criminal? No, I want them to be non-criminal. Why do you think that? That's why I drugged them there. You know?
Well, you know, look, I'm not trying to upset you. I'm just asking questions. You know,
I understand. You're free to answer. And I'm trying to answer to the best of my ability.
I understand that. And I appreciate you answering my questions, because you don't have to. And I get that. And I appreciate it. I really do.
I appreciate you. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to.
We were appreciating each other. I appreciate you. No, I appreciate you. Boy, how the tables turned.
Get upset. I get it. I understand why people think the way they think. And I do understand the criminal element. And that's why I try so hard. We sit here at night, you know, God says he wants us all to read scripture morning and night. That's because God understands our human brain. We go out in left field right away.
I don't know what that
means. If we ain't in them scriptures morning and night, we're gone quickly. We forget real fast. God understands that. That's why he said morning and night. And that's what I try to do with my kids. Every morning before they even went to school, sometimes I do my best to try to at least read one chapter or something. I've done my best. It's hard, you know, that's real tough.
I remember that was one of my favorite sound bites I did. And I would do really like immature things, like say, hey, Dawn, do you know how to tie your shoes? Like, have you figured out how to tie your shoes?
Chapter or something. I've done my best. It's hard, that's real tough.
And I would do stuff like that.
We've been.
Hey, Dawn, do you know how to make a balloon animal?
It's hard, that's real tough. We've been asked.
Yeah,
it's hard, that's real tough.
Stupid stuff.
We've been reading the Great Controversy. We got through to chapter 4, I think, or something, and try to read with them every day because I want them to understand what's coming. This world's getting evil fast. The United States.
I know. I get it. I do. I understand.
Was built on Christian principles. That's why God blessed this country for 200 years. Well, Christianity's going away fast. The mob rules, or the majority rules. Well, the majority now is not Christianity. Proof of that is, they got Biden in there. They got rid of Trump. I mean,
so this is where the Biden thing started.
And that's proof right there of what we're facing.
Sam, you're just in time. We're just about finished. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, look, Don,
our country's in big trouble.
I am sympathetic to your situation, and if you had nothing to do with it,
thank you.
My apology. I think he's more of a Stalin, Hitler guy, but apologies to you if I offended you.
No, you're good. You're good. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, before that though, one last question.
Okay, buddy.
I when I sit there and hear leaked phone calls, and I'm not for people recording people secretly, and that seems to have happened a lot here.
Right.
But I have heard you talk very derogatory about. Yeah, I don't even know why he cares so much about politics, because he can't. What did he say? Mr. Tim messaged me in Messenger, told me to behave myself. He would charge me. Charge you with what? Oh, is he allowed to? That's good. Certain women in your life, and I'm not going to bring those people up, but
yeah, that's fine.
That really, to me, that really undercuts the Christian aspect of it. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. I get that.
Yeah. What do you say to that? Is it a temper thing? You just feel pushed to the wall? I get that. Well,
you can push almost anybody to the point. I mean, yeah, I'm not perfect. Yeah, I might blow. I'm trying. But yeah, I have points where I just I lose it and I get mad, and that's what I know best is my cuss words. I'm sorry.
I understand.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm far from perfect. I've said some things. A man would be so much better off if he never even knowed a woman, period, in his lifetime.
Knowed?
That's all I can say for that.
It would be much better if he never knowed a woman. I don't even know what that, I don't know what that means either.
That's the biggest downfall of any man is to, not trying to say anything.
Is he so really what's happening there? Is he inferring that it's his wife's fault that I don't know what he's inferring there. But he's saying that to me, it sounds like that's what he's doing. He's inferring that crap hit the fan because of her.
Bad about no women, because there's some good women out there, but That's a big downfall for a man, is a woman. I'm not trying to be mean to women. There's a lot of good women out.
I was not going to even touch that. What are your thoughts on whether he feels comfortable with strong, mature women? My thoughts are that I wouldn't think he's comfortable around anybody that he can't manipulate at all.
Out there. That's the biggest downfall of any man.
I think so.
Is to, not trying to say anything bad about now. A man would be so much better off if he never even knowed a woman, period, in his lifetime. That's all I can say for that. That's the biggest downfall of any man, is to, not trying to say anything bad about no women, because there's some good women out there, but
yeah, like Betty Crocker and Martha Stewart, Hillary Clinton. I think who else? Lorena Bobbitt was cool.
That's a big downfall for a man, is a woman. I'm not trying to be mean to women. There's a lot of good women out there. Not trying to be mean.
No.
But there's what's up? That's kind of a trick question. I'm sorry.
I don't even know what the question was that I asked him. He's the one that did this.
To back off that one.
No.
All right. Hey, Don, thanks for answering my questions. I appreciate it. And you know what? I hope you prove people wrong. I hope that, I hope Summer's found, and I hope she's found alive. Now, like I said,
brother, I'm hoping we can all pull together, for the sake of all these children. I mean, and all the evil stuff in this world. There's so much evil. There's so many. We live in an evil world. I mean, all the fallen angels that were kicked out of heaven are here on this earth, trying to mess with us all every day, constantly. Just, we all have our demons, every one of us.
Don, I wrote a letter to Summer, like circulated around the internet. And I don't know if you ever heard it or not. But I come from a really rough place as well. That's why I kind of got into this thing. And,
right.
I don't know what happened to Summer, but I know whatever happened to her wasn't fair. And I pray to God that you and Candace had nothing to do with it. But until you understand, until she's found alive and safe, the finger will always be pointed at you. You understand that, right?
Right. Yeah.
Until there is somebody else, until there's somebody else on the radar, until there's, evidence of something else, even you say that she's been abducted. TBI says they see no evidence of that. That is
TBI. Okay. TBI and law enforcement are allowed to lie. They might throw you off one way or whatever. You don't know exactly what they're really thinking. You just don't.
Yeah.
That's why I don't even call them anymore, because I don't know if they're telling me, what they're trying to really tell me, because they're allowed to lie all they want to. That's
it's an interrogation. It's an interrogation tactic, because usually the people that they're dealing with aren't always forthcoming, and you have to break people apart and get their stories. That's why they separate everybody. You know that.
I have some.
So the let me just play. Let me. That is
TBI.
Yeah. So this is just months after Summer went missing, just a few months after Summer goes missing. And he has already said that that's why he doesn't like to talk to law enforcement anymore. As you heard in his last interview that he did, he also claim that he wasn't talking to law enforcement anymore. And I think that honestly, except for the very first couple of weeks, was the case. I think. I don't know that for sure, but that's what it seems like, because at some point, Ronnie Lawson, but not just Ronnie Lawson, Leslie Earnhardt, or however you say her name, has said, when they asked I believe it was the 2-year anniversary, are they cooperating with law enforcement? And she says, we're not going to define cooperation. Now, she could have just said yes. She could have said no. She chose to say that, because I think the reason that they didn't want that, and by the way, I'll tell you this, Miss Leslie Earnhardt, and I have a lot of respect for you and your organization, but if they're not cooperating, that's something that you should have probably said out loud, because if that's the truth, which I feel that it is, then I think you have an obligation to tell people that. You're trying to not stir the pot. People already knew that they weren't cooperating. And I think that it should have been said. If somebody's not cooperating in your investigation, how are you gonna just protect them? They're not cooperating. And she very, very clearly didn't say, because in the beginning, the answers were, is the family cooperating? Just a couple days after she goes missing, and they say, yeah, they're cooperating. They're cooperating. As that went on, it became something else. It became, no, they're not cooperating, or we're not going to define cooperation. He says they see no evidence.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Until there is somebody else, until there's somebody else on the radar, until there's, evidence of something else, even you say that she's been abducted. TBI says they see no evidence of that. That is
TBI. Okay. TBI and law enforcement are allowed to lie. They might throw you off one way or whatever. You don't know exactly what they're really thinking. You just don't.
Yeah.
That's why I don't even call them anymore, because I don't know if they're telling me, what they're trying to really tell me, because they're allowed to lie all they want to. That's
it's an interrogation. It's an interrogation tactic, because usually the people that they're dealing with aren't always forthcoming, and you have to break people apart and get their stories. That's why they separate everybody. That.
I have some serious theories, and I can't even talk about them, because that might throw off TBI's investigation, and they might be looking into exactly what I'm thinking, but I can't say nothing about it because that'll screw everything up. And I've made that mistake in the past so many times about what I'm really thinking, and I've tried to tell that to.
Yeah, you know what, Nancy, it's funny. He's not allowed to lie to law enforcement, but I'm assuming he does and has and currently is lying about something. I do believe that. I'm not exactly sure what, but yeah.
TBI, and they're like, oh, no, but they really could be thinking about on the same page I am. I don't know. It's just a game. It's a serious game with someone's life at stake. So I can't even talk about my theories or anything else any longer.
Yeah, one that you and Candace are playing. That's
and there's Prayer Garden. She can't help
the game right there.
I'll let you guys go get back to it. Don, thanks for answering my questions. Like I said, I hope that I hope that I'm wrong from being critical of you, and I do apologize for that. It's just I I want to keep your
It's all
daughter's
good,
name out there.
brother. It's all
I want
good.
to keep your daughter's name out
I
there.
understand how it looks. I understand
sure.
how it looks, and it's all
I
good.
understand.
Thank you.
All right, brother. Thank you.
God
Take care.
bless. All right. All right, bye.
As I was leaving there, you could hear Prayer Garden say, "It's not all good. It's not all good." I mean, that was the first conversation that I had with Dawn, and it was interesting. But if you listen back to it, they are. Let's see. I mean, this is if it's a script. It's been a script. It's been the same thing over and over, and nothing has really. I mean, they have not changed up much. Now they've been caught in inconsistencies and things like that. That's been going on. But for some reason, and one of the things that has always bothered me is the timeline. And I'll play this short little video for you here real quick. What's up, Mab? I don't know if I talk in this at all. So it says Don Wells claims that the timeline is not an issue. We've told the truth, never lied, says Don Wells. However, the timeline he claims happened is impossible according to the 911 dispatch call and his own words. And listen for yourself.
We've always told the truth. We've never lied.
But then I ask you about the time discrepancy, and you tell me there is none.
What time? There is no time discrepancy. That's all made up bullshit.
So the first call, 911, was reported at 6:26 p.m. June 15th, 2021.
Wherever you're getting the time discrepancy, that's crazy.
You said you got home at 5:30. That's impossible.
Well, I think I got the call about 5:30 because I think I was at work about 5:30.
So if Don got the call at 5:30, and that means that he received the call over an hour before Summer went missing, the claim of that he got home at 5:30 can't be true. The claim he got the call at 5:30 could be true, but why did it take them over an hour to call 911? If the dispatch call from 911, if the dispatch calls from 911, in the calls, the dispatcher says she was gone only 10 minutes, which means she went missing around 6:14 to 6:16 ish. I know, but Candace, 45 minutes after Don either arrived home or when he got the call, but he's not sure. Didn't call until 6:26. I know, but Candace didn't call until 6:26.
Okay,
and then you called a few minutes later.
That could be. So why are you making such a big deal?
Because
about
that's over an hour.
Well, I get that. Okay, I get that. Okay, I get that, but see, you're missing a lot of points of interest.
How?
A lot. Okay, for number one, okay, I wasn't really paying attention to what time it was. Number one, okay, I wasn't really paying attention. But I know you're gonna take this and you're gonna turn it into all kinds of crazy bullshit.
Don now claims this version of the timeline wasn't correct and that law enforcement has the proper timeline. This is because the timeline he provided for 22 months to the public wasn't going so well. Now, how can anybody listen to this? These are facts and these are proper times of what really had occurred. And you're telling me that there's so many chunks of time, there's so many little pockets during that afternoon of time missing that we're supposed to just believe that the timeline is extremely important and is not to be downplayed.
But I know you're gonna take this and you're gonna turn it into all kinds of crazy bullshit. But I know you're gonna take this and you're gonna turn it into all kinds of crazy bullshit.
From what I understand, that they said that their timeline needed some work. From what I understood. And then but I mean, just think about that. Okay, just for a second. If you think about that, he claims that he got the call that Summer was missing around 5:30, but nothing was reported until 6:20 something. I can't even remember. I really can't. I think it was like 6:26 or something along those lines. But I do want to go back really quick because somebody pointed something out to me that I did not. I didn't get. Hold on a second here. I just missed it, I guess. And somebody said the other day, and I can't remember who it was, but somebody said that you guys remember the deer blind phone call that I took? Somebody said that that was Sonia, his sister. I don't know if that's true or not. It would make sense because I mean she was pressing me hard. She doesn't like me. That's all right. I don't like her or her brother. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Wrong song. Yeah. Where are we at? Come on. Where's that stupid. And here in a second, I'll show you the first video I ever made. Yeah, I don't know, Paul. I don't know. I thought that they have. Thanks, John. Good to see you too. Okay, here it is. He said something about the red truck. What did he say?
but I don't know what they're doing exactly, No, I'm listening to you.
Around there. And
Yeah.
Ronnie Lawson also chimed in, and he did refute almost everything that you claimed. How do you feel about that? I don't know if you saw that.
Well,
he said there were no
nothing
other
I can do about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
there ain't
He
nothing
said there
I
was
can
no
do
other
about
missing
that.
children. He said the scream was unfounded. He said that the dogs did find the trail. And that
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, what is your response to that? I mean, he's saying, everything.
Well,
yeah. So what does that mean? What the hell does that? What does that mean? So he's saying that he's the one that took the pictures of the red truck that was in question. Each key point. He's saying people aren't missing there.
Yeah.
Nobody else is missing.
Yeah,
What do you say?
not from this area. That's true. That's true. There hasn't been any other kids come up missing from this area, and that bothers me. But I know that there are a lot of missing kids from Eastern Tennessee in this area, not in particular Beach Creek area. But I do know what happens on our street, and I do know what kind of stuff happens. Ronnie Lawson doesn't live on our street. He don't know what happens around here on a day-to-day basis. I do. I mean, we live here. We see what goes on down the road. And
Ronnie Lawson's been the sheriff for a really long time. Really long time.
He's what?
And he's been the sheriff there for quite some time. Ronnie?
I misunderstood you, buddy.
I said Ronnie Lawson, the sheriff, has been the sheriff there for a really long time.
No, he really hasn't. When he come into power, when he first come into power, I mean, I try not to get involved with what's going on around here. I try to stay out of the drug scene and everything. But I'll say this: the last 7 people I've hired in a row, I've fired for being on dope. If that tells you any damn thing.
Well,
okay, I don't have nobody working with me currently because I can't find nobody that doesn't do dope. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I can't have that kind of crap on my job, or you can't use somebody like that.
Okay.
Okay.
Like calling the kid black.
I think that depends. I mean, it depends. If it's H, they're probably not going to be a good worker. Crack, meth. Somebody doing drywall on meth would be like amazing, probably.
You guys use drugs. You ain't gonna hire somebody that's doing drugs, but you do them yourself.
I don't use drugs.
Hey, wait. Prairie Guard had to break up that fight. No, I'll let you get back to it. Let me just streamline this really fast because I'll let you guys have a history and I don't, and I want to just get out of the way. But I do have a couple more questions. Let me see. How do you establish a timeline with the people who are involved are known to be untruthful? Is that Don saying he tries to stay out of the drug scene? So the only thing that you can, the only timeline that you can really absolutely establish is Don saying that he got the phone call when he did. You have to believe that he either did really get the phone call at 5:30 or he didn't. But we do know when the police were notified. We know when the police were notified and that Summer went missing. And then we know when Candace says, well, I was gone 2 minutes. And then on the dispatch, it says 10 minutes. And then Candace says that, or on the dispatch, it says that, that she went for a walk, but then she says on the first interview that she doesn't go walking. Okay. So,
okay. Where are you from, brother?
I'm from California.
Where are you from? You from? Okay, you live in California, right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Certainly.
All right.
And
you don't live here in Tennessee. Okay.
But we have drugs here too. That's not.
Well, I
just
know. I just
Tennessee
left
thing.
LA. I just left LA. I know all about it. I seen it
it's
all.
Not,
I couldn't wait to get the hell out of there.
It's not just an Eastern Tennessee thing. It's a United States thing. And I mean, I would venture myself to be somewhat cultured and do understand certain areas. And I'm not saying when I say cultured, I means that I wear shoes at the gas station. Sometimes that's what I meant. I'm not from around here, brother. That you don't have a drug problem. But the fact is that Ronnie Lawson did say that you have little to no traffic going up your road. What do you say to that?
He don't live on my road.
I understand.
He don't live on our road, brother.
Thanks. I understand.
He does not live on my damn road. He lives in town in some nice house somewhere. He don't live on my road. But he
wouldn't have an idea of it. He just has.
I know my road. I know my road better than Ronnie Lawson does. I'll tell you like that. I'm not trying to be against him or whatever. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one that took the pictures of that red truck. I'm not trying to go against the man.
He's the one that took the pictures of that red truck.
But I will say I live on my road. He doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be against law enforcement or anything else. I'm not trying to dispute what they say or anything else. But I'm not naive either.
And so what you're basically saying is that, there is a lot of traffic on your road.
There was. There ain't now.
Right.
I don't know. I work every day, but as far as I know, the traffic isn't as bad as it was because every chance I get, when I'm on the news or anything else, that's what I talk about, and it's slowed down a lot. As far as I know, I don't know for sure, but hell yeah, I'm trying to slow it down. I'm trying to stop it. I'll do anything I can. I hate that stuff. I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't want my kids to be around it. It's wrong.
When I was in high school, I remember I got caught with pot by my grandma or grandpa. I can't remember which one. Probably both of them. I don't know how it happened. I can't even remember. I think it happened. And I remember denying that it was mine and saying, I would never go near that. I would never, me. I mean, I was just lying. And then eventually, I was like, yeah, it's mine. Then I got grounded forever. And, but it was like, I don't know. I'm not, I understand. Like it feels the same as when he is talking as well. Like that's how I felt when I got busted for that, by my grandparents. Sure. Do you think that they're gonna, in your opinion? I was just like, no, I would never do that. And my grandpa's like, yeah, right, Cheech. Railroad you for this? Do you think that that's what's going to happen?
You can't do that with no evidence.
Yeah, I'll check it out in a second.
That's impossible, bro. How can you do that?
I don't know. I don't know what evidence they have. I don't know.
They don't have no evidence, and there's no way they could ever have evidence because it's impossible.
Yeah. Proof of life is evidence, and there's nothing suggesting that she's actually alive, is there?
Well, no, we don't have no evidence of anything. We don't know what happened.
Look, I think that there is proof that Dawn has had problems with drugs in the past, solely based on his rap sheet alone. The night he stole the red panties, he had a bump or two in his pocket. That's right. He stole red panties. Defend him all you want. Anybody that breaks into somebody's house and steals their underwear and then hides in the back seat of the van, and the cops can clearly see him back there, and he's got the red panties, and then he has some coquina, Maria, and there's evidence of that. Brothers did. He did. Yes, he did. That's a fact. Damn. Oh. Yeah.
Well, I wish we did. If we knew what happened to him, we'd be all over.
And I have said this. I don't know what happened, and I don't know if you did anything. I don't know if Candace did anything. No, I asked. We were talking about the drugs. He's like, I don't do drugs. I try and keep that stuff away from me. Like, yeah, okay. Or I try to keep that stuff away from. I know that some.
I don't know if you've done anything.
Well, see that.
I don't know if you come down here
and I will tell you guys this, and I'm not trying to tease it, or I'm not trying to give you a cliffhanger or anything like that. But you know, we are working on some stuff that probably that needs to be presented to the public, and hopefully within the next week or so, we will have some information to share just about the wells. Yeah, right. Well, that's kind of, I think is probably pertinent. I think it is, at least that's kind of a sidestep, right? Because I mean,
well, I mean, come on.
Wouldn't you be the suspect and not me? I mean, I live in California.
I don't know where you've been
missing, not mine, Don. Yeah, Don.
It sounds like you're kind of being freaking kind of a little bit out there, dude.
No, I'm just asking.
My kid's missing, but
you want to call me? I'm just asking.
I don't know what the hell you're trying to ask, dude.
I'm trying to ask you if you know if more happened than what you've told.
If I knew what happened to my daughter, I would be all over it, and she would be home. If I knew anything, she would be here with me. I love my daughter with all my heart. I mean, I know everybody, I don't know why everybody tries to implicate or say that I've done this or I've done that. I don't understand why that has happened so bad. I don't get it. I don't understand that. Yeah, I do have a criminal past. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, so it is going to be, you know, well, the thing is, you know, we have to come with the proof, and I think that we will have that proof. We just have to protect, you know, the innocent people involved, and I mean, I probably should reach out to Don before, but I'm probably not going to. I mean, he knows how to get a hold of me if he wants to. And if any of you are his friends, you know, feel free. But I've done that in the past with him where I'm like, hey, I'm going to drop something. And I'm tired of giving him a heads up.
But when I got my kids, I fell in love with my kids.
So I'm not going to give him a heads up anymore.
I understand that kind of stuff. Why do you think we was in church? Why do you think I took my kids to church? Do you think I'd waste my time to go get in church if I was still a criminal? No, I want them to be non-criminal. Why do you think that? That's why I drugged them there.
Okay, so let me see. Now, has anybody ever heard Sonia talk before? the sister, and because somebody was telling me that this is Sonia. I don't know if it is or not. All right. I know you've been patient. This is how that works, is that when you're on hold, you can still hear the show, but I can't hear you, if that makes sense. But go ahead, you're on the air.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, I certainly am.
You are?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then let me take you off the phone. Hey, how's it going?
Good.
You're the lab, are ya?
I am the lab, yeah. Well, that's the name of the show. I don't know if I'm the lab, but that's the name of the show.
All right. Let me turn this off. It's on a delay, and it just sounds like a bunch of cackling, and I can't hang with
the
it.
one thing you can't do, you can't cuss.
All right, then. All right. Hi.
How you doing?
So let me put back it there. There's your face. All right. What's your name?
What's my name? My name's
Yeah,
Josh.
I mean,
What's yours?
you're not the lab.
Josh.
Josh, my name is Aaron. Hi.
You've never seen the show before? First time?
No, I haven't. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, it's Josh.
So I have no context. I'm just talking to you. Yeah. So I was talking with Don a little while ago, and he mentioned you, and that's why I looked up your channel.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm seeing you on a delay, I suppose. I'm seeing your face, and I guess it's a delay.
Well, I'm guessing that Don had tons of nice things to say about me.
No, he actually didn't say very much about your channel. He just mentioned you, and I said I've never seen it. And yeah, he didn't say a lot. He's been working all day. He's tired, and yeah, he didn't say much. It was just enough for me to want to check it out and see what's going on.
So are you friends with Don? Is that what it is?
I am. Oh. Yeah, Don and Candace.
How long you known
him? 2 years.
So was it right after Summer went missing?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. And
so
go ahead.
For some reason, I feel like, because I was waiting for a while to talk with you, and the folks that I heard talking, when I'm seeing in the chat, and it sounded like cackling. It was so hard for me to not hang up because I just can't stand the cackling. It sounded like folks are like not liking the wells, and I wanted.
Yeah, go ahead.
I want to know what do you think about that? Where are you coming from?
Well, it's not even about liking the wells or not liking the wells. I don't feel that they have been honest.
Run away, Josh.
About what's been going on.
Run. This is me from the future. Run. Disconnect this phone call immediately.
Okay.
There's a lot of discrepancies and a lot of yeah, I don't know. I don't believe him. That's just where I'm coming from. A lot of people don't, but it's not just me. But there are some people that do believe him.
Okay. So, if we're going to have this conversation, please tell me what is it that you find as a discrepancy, or what is it that makes you take pause about Don and Candace as far as Summer's disappearance go?
Let me ask you, do you believe them?
Believe what?
Their story about Summer.
So we both just asked each other the same question. Well, I'm asking you where you come from.
But here's the thing.
You're asking me.
Ma'am, here's the thing. I have if you I don't know when you came in to watch the show, but I've made it
Just today. Today's the first time, so I have like I have no idea.
No, well, apparently this is allegedly the sister, and I just heard about this the other day, and I heard her voice, and they sound yeah, I should have hung up, but strap in.
But what I'm hearing is that you're suspicious of them, and I get that. I get that. I don't feel the same way, but I really like to know.
Why do they all say that? I never understood that. Like Dawn says, I get it. So she says, I get it. I get it. I get why people, no shit, you get it. Of course. How do you not get it? Everybody gets it. Dawn gets it. Candace gets it. Friggin' Deer Blind Lady gets it. Everybody gets it, but everybody's too,
What makes you feel that something is not right?
I really tried with this lady too.
Right with them.
Well, the fact that their daughter's been missing for close to 2 years, that their 3 children were taken, that their timeline doesn't make sense, that they've played numerous pranks and games on people close to them, the fact that they don't talk to law enforcement or that they don't cooperate with law enforcement. I mean, there's just a lot of that's. I could probably go on and on, but
I get that. The last 2 things are that they don't talk to law.
She gets it. Everybody gets it. You get it, but you don't get it.
Enforcement, they do talk to law enforcement.
No, that's not what they've said.
Well, I mean, I've been on the phone when TBI was talking with Dawn while I was on the phone with Candace.
I'm guessing he's not the one that called, though.
So let's have a give and take because we're trying to get down to the bottom of it, right? So
well, look,
I'm telling
we're
you
not going to get to the bottom of anything.
That the last 2 things of all of the things. Well, no, I mean the whole premise of this is you're against them, and I'm saying the last 2 things that you said. Look, I hear what you're saying. I totally hear what you're saying. That said, the last 2 things that you said, the non-cooperation and the not talking, those 2 parts, the last 2 things are not so. That's not actually true. So does that change anything for you if I say they actually are cooperating and they are in contact? Because they are in contact with the TBI. They are. Does that change anything for you?
No,
okay.
Because I don't believe that, because I've heard it from their own mouths. Now, if you're saying that TBI has contacted them, yeah, that may be true. But they're not heading on down to TBI. They're not calling them every day. That's not what they're. Candace just the other day admitted that she hasn't talked to law enforcement in months. Don has told me personally that he doesn't trust law enforcement.
Yeah, I don't either.
Okay, well, so what are we arguing about?
I'm not arguing with you. I'm adding in.
She walked into a buzzsaw.
Information so that
and it pissed her off.
We can, have a fair summation of what's going on.
Okay, and so you know for a fact that they call law enforcement.
Not that they call them, but that they speak with them when they actually come.
Right.
Go ahead.
Because law enforcement calls them.
If they show up there and they talk with them, yes.
Right. Well, they don't have much of a choice then. I mean, you could tell them to leave, but that'd be off. That'd be a really bad look, wouldn't it? Did Dawn ask
they're
you
not
to call?
trying to do that. No, not at all. I think that he would be disappointed that I have done. I actually asked him for the phone number, and he said, "No, it's okay, no." But I looked you up, and I see you have the phone number plainly, 858-299-2504, and I rang you up, and I sat on the phone for a half an hour with this. It sounds like a party line from the 1970s, but I sat here. And people in the chat were just like, wait. So here I am, and I'm talking with you.
Yep.
And I love Don.
Do we have a problem? Let me see. What's the problem? What do we got? Mm, mm. God. Where did I'm not even I'm seeing something. All right, no problems. Okay. Yeah, everybody just get along. It's gonna be all right.
Candace, and I'm friends with them, and I support them all the way. Their little baby girl is missing. She's missing, and their sons are not at home. I don't think people realize how badly Dawn and Candace are suffering. And if you have a mindset that they deserve this somehow, or that they caused this somehow, maybe, I don't know. I don't even know what to say to folks like that. I've spent a lot of time with them, and I love them so much. They are so kind. They're so kind, and they are so pained. It's so terrible. And then apparently that you and your audience are suspicious of them, or I don't even know what it is, but wow, that's so awful. If only you could know them, because they're so kind. They're such nice people. They did not cause their daughter to go missing. They have not killed their daughter, that they didn't do that.
How do you know?
Oh my God. All right.
How do you know
evidence get presented.
What evidence?
How do you? All right, so let's turn it around. How do you know that they did? Like, why do you feel such a strong stance?
If you have listened to any portion of the show, I've clearly stated I don't know what they did or what their involvement is, but I do know that their timeline is terrible and that they all have the exact same story verbatim, even though Dawn wasn't there. So you think that it's plausible that somebody walked up onto that hill in the middle of the day with a house full of people and abducted a 5-year-old girl down the side of a dog trail? You think that makes sense?
It absolutely does. And
no,
I want to ask you this. Have you ever, hold on a second. Are we going to be able to talk for a little bit? Because I really want to be able to tell you.
What do you mean? Just talk. I know when to stop talking.
Okay. So, have you ever been there to their house?
No.
That's it. Okay, so you have not. I have, and that house is so like you can.
It's not Cher. It's not.
See it so clearly. I mean, it's out in the. I really want to be able to. Hold on a second. Are we going to be able to talk for a little bit? Because I really want to be able to tell you.
What do you mean? Just talk. I know when to stop talking.
Okay. So, have you ever been there to their house?
No.
That's it. Okay, so you have not. I have, and that house is so like you can see it so clearly. I mean, it's out in the docks. Sorry, oh my goodness, I'm sorry, I said the F word on your channel. Going there, like you have to know how to get there to get there. So the bottom line for me, because there are lots of neighbors and many of the neighbors.
You have to know how to get there to get there. Thank you for that piece of information.
Neighbors are sex offenders. There are a lot of bad, scary people over there. And that property is so accessible. There are trails that go up and down that lead to all the roads. And yeah, I totally believe that somebody could have gone up there and snatched her. Here's another thing, is 750 feet from their house, up on the hill above, there's a deer blind. Do you know what a deer blind is?
Yeah, I know what a deer blind is.
All right, so there's a campsite up there with a deer blind facing directly to their house. Somebody was up there watching. I guess folks don't know that. You can hike up there and you can see there's a deer blind.
Whoa,
and a campsite.
whoa. Please don't cuss. There's people that watch the show that have kids. That's all I'm saying.
Well, and also because YouTube strikes you. I'm sorry. All right, so I thought that was the deal.
No.
It's the middle of the night, so I'm not worried about children. However, I'm worried about YouTube strikes for you. So
don't care about
so look
that.
at you hike up the hill.
It's 8:40. It's 8:40.
It is for me. I'm in East Tennessee. I live 45 minutes from the wells. That's what I'm saying. I'm friends with them. I've been there. I know the land.
You know how many times I've gotten a phone call or conversation or a text message or an email just like this, just from somebody just like you that says that they're friends with Dawn and Candace. You're probably the 20th.
Well, all right. Okay. All right, then. That has nothing to do with me. I'm going to continue with what I'm saying. They're not telling you what I'm telling you.
No, they are. You are.
I'm telling you. Really? They're telling you about the deer blind?
Mm-hmm. No.
Are they telling you about the deer blind?
I don't care about the deer blind.
All right, so look I'm telling you. All right, so I'm sorry that I'm challenging you. I'm giving you fodder. I am.
No, you're not.
I actually am.
No,
and it's okay because we're having a conversation about it. So you up the hill, like up further on the hill, their house is on the hill that's totally visible. And you go up further and there's a campsite and a deer blind. Someone made a campsite with a deer blind. A deer blind makes it so for your listeners, they don't know what it is. It makes it so that you can go hunting. It's like branches and twigs and leaves so that you can peek through and your prey can't see you. That's a deer blind. And there's a deer blind 750 feet from the house with a campsite. Someone was up there watching. And if you go up there, it is looking at their entire yard. It's looking down on the Wells house. Right? Someone was up there. And if you consider all of the sex offenders, frankly, that live around there, it's
the deer blind thing wasn't like a new thought, I guess you could say.
It's really scary and sad.
So let me just ask you this. You believe because there's a campsite and a deer blind that somebody was watching her and with binoculars or something, and that's
you wouldn't need binoculars from that site. You can just look straight on their house.
Sure, not a big deal.
No, it is a big deal. No. It's a big deal. It's a bit of information that
it's not a big deal. That's what I'm saying. It's not a bit. That's not a big deal. Like, okay, I'm just saying, if that's what you needed, I don't know. What do they need? A telescope? I'm just saying. I don't. TBI, the card team says that there's no evidence of an abduction. Yet you come at me with a deer blind and a campsite.
No. You don't like that call. I don't like that call. Not a very good call.
I mean, it's just whatever. Like, how long am I supposed to listen? How long? And then then to be condescending is just weird too. That's weird as well.
That was a perfect hang up.
A deer blind and a campsite.
You love that the song.
That's how long? How much action? Yet you come at
my hang up song. I love it.
Me with a deer blind and a campsite.
Not a good call.
You don't like that call. I don't like that call. Not a very good call.
I mean, it's just whatever. Like, how long am I supposed to listen?
It wasn't a good call.
How long? And then to be condescending is just weird too. That's weird as well.
To get rid of her.
A deer blind and a campsite.
That's called getting yeeted, right, Dr. Gary? I tried. I swear I was trying to listen to what she was saying. I was trying to be respectful. I tried. I
have no problem talking and being challenged. That's fine. But like, don't tell me like to stop talking, point, counterpoint, and Dawn, why don't you call in, you dickhead? You cry.
Oh, Josh.
Cry baby. But like, don't tell me like to stop talking, point.
I know that's what he did. He put whoever that was up to it.
Counterpoint, and Dawn, why don't you call in, you dickhead? You cry baby. Working all day my ass. Friends with Don and Candace. Good. That's fantastic. What's that got to do with anything? And people tell me that all the time. All the time. I'm friends with Don and Candace. I don't care. A deer blind and a what? A campsite? Who cares? Come on. That's your evidence? That's how you know?
It's not shit.
Funny, Don and Candace don't mention that ever. Oh, but they're probably just keeping it under wraps, because
it is
TBI. But then they have somebody call up and kind of throw that out there. It's not true. I don't know. There may be a deer blind. There's deer blinds in heavily forested areas everywhere. People camp in the woods. 750 feet. Did you get out what did you get out? A marker? Everybody's Don and Candace's friend close to 2 years. You understand, right? That's the one thing. I'm guessing that the friend on YouTube is also a 2-year friend. They got a lot of 2-year friends. A lot of 2-year friends, and a lot of friends that, they seem to make a whole lot of friends right after Summer went missing.
All right. That was a beautiful trip down memory lane. God, yeah. So I don't know. Somebody told me that it was his sister. I don't know if it is. I have no clue. Wouldn't surprise me. Don would definitely put somebody up to something like that. And so I don't know. I don't know if that was his sister or not. It probably was. And the only reason I say that is because Sonia has always stood up for Don, which is, it's his sister. So I get it. Certainly do. But some things are just indefensible. Like he can't just be like, oh, well, And I thought I've always been decently fair to the Wells, but how fair are we supposed to be, and how are we just supposed to just let our common sense go away and not think that, hey, what's going on here makes absolutely no sense. And there's a little girl missing named Summer Wells. But, you know, I don't know. I just find it. We're all familiar with abduction statistics. The first people that are looked at are the family. And with Jacqueline and Trezell West on trial for the murder of Orrin and Orson West, their rhetoric bears some similarities to Dawn Wells, especially Trezell's comments. Take a listen side by side.
They are going to be here in this area. And I really would like to go in the houses, but it's not because I want to invade people's privacy. I just want to know if make sure. That's it.
That was Trezell West, adoptive father of the missing Cal City boys, Orrin and Orson. They were speaking with KGET News out of Bakersfield, an NBC affiliate, on December 23rd, 2020.
I just wish there was a way that neighbors could search neighbors' houses, and then if they're not willing, you know, get a search warrant or something. But there's just no way you can search every single house, you know, in the eastern United States or whatever. But I wish there was a way.
That was Dawn Wells, father of Summer Wells, was 5 years old when she went missing in Hawkins County. And that clip is courtesy of WJHL. My question is, why say that? It's important to know that Trezell West is on trial for the murder of the two boys, Orrin and Orson, his adopted children. Is this just a deflection, pointing the finger the other way? It's possible. It's important to note that Dawn Wells has not been charged with any crime involving the disappearance of his 5-year-old daughter, Summer Wells, to date. And next, we have an audio clip from a young lady who will be going on trial for the murder of her son, 2-year-old Quentin Simon, out of Savannah, Georgia. Once again, I'm going to compare it to something that Candace Wells has said. Is it a coincidence? I don't know. But we'll play them side by side, and you can be the judge. Here's Leilani Simon talking to WTOC News Channel 11 out of Savannah.
We're just hoping that he's in somebody's house and they're feeding him, and they were hoping that, you know, maybe they wanted a baby or couldn't have a baby. Maybe they thought they were his savior. But it's not. That's their best hopes at this point.
Leilani Simon is awaiting trial for the murder of Quentin Simon, her 2-year-old son. Let's listen to an audio clip of Candace Wells talking about the disappearance of her 5-year-old daughter, Summer Wells.
My thoughts are a little different than Donnie's, but I believe as a mother that she's still alive, that some rich person had snagged her up and got her and thought that she was in a bad place when she wasn't, and they're keeping her from her. That's what I believe.
Eerily similar. Is this just a way to make them feel better? Maybe a little easier to sleep at night? Maybe. Or maybe it's them holding out for hope. The similar rhetoric stands out to me. Although it is important to note that Candace Wells has not been charged with any crime related to the disappearance of her daughter, Summer Wells, to date. Well, what exactly does this mean? Well, I'm not sure. It could mean absolutely nothing, but it could mean something. And I'm leaning towards more it could mean something. In all these cases, the same phrase comes to mind: plausible deniability. According to Wikipedia, the term typically implies forethought, such as intentionally setting up the conditions for the plausible avoidance of responsibility for one's future actions or knowledge. Plausible denial involves the creation of loose stories and information.
They are going to be here in this area. And I really would like to go in the houses, but it's not because I want to invade people's privacy. I just want to know if make sure. That's it.
In that statement, Trezell West thinks that wanting to invade the privacy of his neighbors by searching for his children, which he knows legally he cannot do, will make him look like he is desperately wanting to find his children. And Trezell West is on trial currently for the murder of Orrin and Orson West.
I just wish there was a way that neighbors could search neighbors' houses, and then if they're not willing, get a search warrant or something. But there's just no way you can search every single house, in the eastern United States or whatever. But I wish there was a way.
In that statement, Don Wells knows that there is no way that he can do that. But it sure sounds good.
We're just hoping that he's in somebody's house and they're feeding him, and they are hoping that, maybe they wanted a baby or couldn't have a baby. Maybe they thought they were his savior. But it's not. That's their best hopes at this point.
Leilani Simon has a good idea that that's not the case, yet she pushes it to make herself either look good or feel better, or a combination of both. I'm not really sure. Quentin Simon was found in a landfill close to 60 days after he went missing. Authorities have charged her with his murder and disposal of his body.
My thoughts are a little different than Donnie's, but I believe as a mother that she's still alive, that some rich person had snagged her up and got her and thought that she was in a bad place when she wasn't, and they're keeping her from her. That's what I believe.
Plausible deniability. It's important to note that Candace Wells has not been charged in the disappearance of her 5-year-old daughter, Summer Wells, nor has Dawn Wells. Thank you for watching. Yeah, that was always that was one that really always did bother me as well, because it just seems like when you say those sort of things, there seems to be some sort of playbook, some sort of script, some sort of I don't know, wording to try and make it seem like you're overly wanting law enforcement to do that, or you should be allowed to, but you know that you can't, and you know that law enforcement's not allowed to, but hey, it sure sounds good. It may sound good, but it does nothing. It changed nothing. It never really happened. I mean, Don had claimed that he kicked in some drug dealers' houses or doors or whatever. Who knows if any of that happened? I think him and Fred may have had some sort of confrontation at some point. I don't exactly know what it was. And frankly, I don't care. I think that Fred clearly wore a wire, which would be absolutely crazy that he would get a wire that fast. But, what's up, Eric? Good to see you. Hold on. And then let's see here. Another one, really. All right, I got it. I think. I don't know if I do have it. Maybe I don't. Well, this one, let me see. So this is 26, 2000. So this was actually the very first thing that I ever covered on the Summer Wells case. This is the first video I ever made, and if you tell me if this seems biased. This is how I came into the case. I thought this would be my contribution.
A 5-year-old girl clad in gray pants and a pink shirt, her blonde hair cropped short, came in from gardening and went to play with her toys in the basement of her family's home in rural East Tennessee. That was the last time anybody saw her. Summer Wells disappeared on the evening of June 15th, 2021, sparking a weeks-long manhunt in the rugged, mountainous terrain of Hawkins County. Hundreds of tips called into the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation have been dead ends, and some in her family have all but given up hope of finding her alive. This is The Lab. I'm your host, Joshua Diaz, and this is the disappearance of Summer Wells. 5:30 p.m. on June 15th, 2021, Summer was planting flowers about 20 feet from her family's house on Ben Hill Road in the unincorporated community of Beach Creek with her mother and grandmother. She reportedly went inside and told her 3 older brothers she wanted to play with her toys in the basement. But when her mother, Candace Wells, came inside a short time later, Summer was nowhere to be found. 6:30 p.m. on June 15th, 2021, Summer was reported missing to the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office. And midnight on June 16th, 2021, the Tennessee State Bureau of Investigation released an endangered child alert for Summer. Shortly after 11 a.m. on June 16, 2021, Tennessee Bureau of Investigations changed the endangered child alert to an Amber Alert. The endangered child alert is issued when there is more concern for a child's safety, while Amber Alerts are reserved for the most.
And I understand, like, I wouldn't say I'm not anti anybody. I'm crazy suspicious about what happened, but what I'm telling you is I had no preconceived notions of anything when I first heard about this. All I did was put together this little video in hopes that somebody, I don't know, I honestly was just trying to help. And yeah, it turned into something that
serious of missing children cases where officials believe a child is in imminent danger. 4 p.m. on June 16th, 2021, officials with the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office and Tennessee Bureau of Investigations held the first of what would be several news conferences updating the public on the search efforts. About 30 tips were called in before the end of the day. And at 1 p.m. on June 17th, 2021, search teams said steep and dangerous terrain, including dense canopy coverage and ground cover, were hampering their efforts. Poor cell service was also making it difficult for them to communicate. 8:40 p.m., June 17th, 2001, investigators began asking anyone who lives on or near Ben Hill Road to check their trail cameras, surveillance footage, and outbuildings for any sign of Summer. June 18th, 2021. Summer's father spoke to media outlets for the first time, saying he was at work when Summer went missing. Quote, "When I got home, I drove to the bottom of the property and I realized that all my neighbors and stuff were combing the woods looking for her. And I realized right then and there that she was not there," unquote. Wells told Times News, quote, "I knew right then and there she was gone because she would never leave there on her own. Somebody had taken her," unquote. And on June 19th, 2021, Tennessee Bureau of Investigations shared photographs of Summer's house and property where she was last seen. June 22nd, 2021. 1 week after Summer's disappearance, the Tennessee Bureau reported receiving at least 221 tips. Investigators continued to push residents in the area to check their barns and crawl spaces for places a child might hide. Specialized searches in the Beach Creek community carried on. June 23rd, 2021, investigators set up a roadblock to ask drivers if they had noticed anything unusual on the day Summer disappeared. June 26th, 2021. The Bureau asked the driver of a Toyota pickup truck to come forward after a witness reported seeing it in the Beach Creek area in the late afternoon or early evening on June 14th or June 15th. Officials said the person may have seen something related to Summer's disappearance. The truck was described as a 1998 or 2000 maroon or red Toyota Tacoma with a full bed ladder rack along with white buckets in the truck bed. To date, this driver has never been found. June 27th, 2021, officials announced they are scaling back search operations. July 1st, 2021, the Polk County Sheriff's Office in Wisconsin told WJHL Summer's disappearance renewed interest in the case of her missing aunt, Rose Mary Bly, who vanished in Polk County in 2009. July 2nd, 2021, Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson told WJHL they have received no solid leads from over the 750 tips called in. July 11th, Lawson told the Times News Summer's case is nowhere even close to being cold. July 12th, TBI confirmed they've received 935 tips regarding Summer's disappearance. In a recorded video, Lawson told the public that everything is still on the table. Quote, "We're still trying to find out what happened to Summer, so everybody is still a person of interest," he said. On the same day, in an interview with the Times News, Summer's father, Donald Wells, expressed little hope that she was still alive. He also confirmed he, his wife, and his mother-in-law all passed lie detector tests in the early days of the investigation. July 13th, Shelley Smitherin, assistant special agent in charge with the TBI, said investigators typically have a credible tip or lead to go off of within a couple of days of a child disappearing. Quote, "That is the frustrating part for law enforcement in this case and for the public," unquote. "We will continue to investigate and search for Summer. And in the public eye, there may not be as much media attention given to this case, but that does not mean we are going to stop what we're doing." And here's what we know. Summer has blonde hair and blue eyes. She's about 3 feet tall and weighs 40 pounds. Investigators said she was last seen wearing gray pants, a pink shirt, and was possibly barefoot. And anyone with information about her disappearance is asked to call the contact number of the TBI at 1-800-TBI-FIND. That's 1-800-TBI-FIND, or the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office at 423-272-7121. That's 423-272-7121. Tips can also be emailed to tips2tbi@tn.gov. Now, some important points here. Agents and Hawkins County detectives continue to search for the 1998 and 2000 maroon or red Toyota Tacoma with a full bed ladder rack and white buckets in the truck bed. This search stems from information investigators received that a truck matching that description was seen in the area of Beach Creek Road and Ben Hill Road in the late afternoon to early evening on either Monday, June 14th or Tuesday, June 15th. And remember, Summer was reported missing to the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office approximately 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday, June 15th. Hawkins County investigators immediately began working the case. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation says a photo of what the truck may look like has been circulating on social media, along with claims that the vehicle had been located. And the photo was never released by law enforcement and is not accurate. And the Bureau continues to urge the public to only share information from official sources. The TBI is also aware of individuals asking for donations from public under the pretense that they are assisting law enforcement in the search for Summer. Agents and Hawkins County detectives have not requested investigative assistance from any private citizen. They say any new information will be shared, but they still cannot share specifics about the investigation itself as it is ongoing. Thank you for listening. This is The Lab, hosted by Joshua Diaz. Like, subscribe, comment, share. It's important to get this out. Thank you. And that's kind of another thing. Like I said, when I started talking about the Summer Wells case, I had no preconceived notion of what had happened to her. I didn't judge Dawn and Candace initially from what it was. I'm telling you, it was the interview that did it for me. It's the interview. Their very first interview blew my mind. But I didn't start out that way. And I regrettably ended up there. And I'm still there. And for some reason, I can't let it go. And I'm not going to. I think that something needs to happen. This child needs to be found. Three years is an insane amount of time. Just an insane amount for a child to be missing with no updates, with no leads, nothing. And that's not. How's that possible? Yep, the Sermon on the Mount. Well, we're going to have to listen to the Sermon on the Mount now before we leave. Let's do it. Might as well. We're here. Join me if you like. If not. By the way, we hit 33,000 subscribers on the lab today. Thank you guys so much. And anybody that has come over from the interview room or just scrolled across or anywhere else, I was on John Davis True Crime the other day as well. That was a fantastic. When I say fantastic, it was fantastic for me. I had a good time at least. Let's see. Always argumentative and knows all. Who? Me? Me? Argumentative? Is that what you're talking about? I'm not argumentative. Maybe I am. I don't know. Who cares? I'm going to argue with you about that. Oh, okay. I mean, it sounded right. Yeah, and another thing about this case that's always bothered me is these gatekeepers of the case, like that you can talk about this, but you can't talk about that. You shouldn't do this. I mean, I've been threatened. I've been not just by Dawn and Candace, but by their sycophants. I remember when I released that the phone conversation while he was in jail. It sometimes it gets sort of heavy, but it wasn't really that big of a thing, you know. Let's see, I'm here from Dolly. I had preconceived ideas. Media posting dirty pics where I feel different now. And I did too. Gonna ask a logical question. Okay, do it. Ask it. All right, here we go.
A lot. I know she didn't walk away from this property by herself or all.
Okay, so I don't TBI right off the bat, TBI. You have the mother saying that she knows that she didn't walk away from this property. She knows. She doesn't think. She knows. Yet TBI says, well, we're not really sure if she wandered away or not. Well, ask the mother. Oh, wait, you don't believe, so you don't believe her.
This yard by her swing. I feel in my heart that somebody has came up here and took her, has lured her away from here. Me and my mother and her were planting flowers. And we went in after we got done washing our hands, and she got a piece of candy from grandma, and she wanted to go back over and see her brothers. And I said, okay. And I walked her all the way over to the porch, and I watched her walk into the kitchen where the boys were watching TV. And I told the boys, I said, watch Summer. I'll be back. And within 2 minutes, I came back. And I asked the boys where their sister was, and they said, she went downstairs, Mom, to play with her toys in the playroom. I said, okay. And I yelled downstairs for her a couple times, and I didn't get no answer, which was unusual because usually she always answers me. And so I went down there to check, and she was nowhere in sight. She was just gone. I don't go on walks around here or runs because I'm scared.
Now, she doesn't go on walks and runs, but the dispatch said whoever called, and I do not believe that Candace ever called. I believe that one of the children called, and I believe Dawn may have called, but I do not believe that Candace ever called 911 that day. But whoever did call 911 said that she had went for a walk. And then in this interview, she says, and I don't know if it was prompt or not. I don't know if it was asked because the editing on this is horribly, horribly bad. Because where did that come from? Did she just say that, or was she asked about it? Either way, it doesn't matter because she says, well, it does matter, but she just flat out says, I don't go on walks around here.
The bears and snakes don't go nowhere in sight. She was just gone. I don't.
And Eric says, now I'm peed off all over again. I know Eric gets upset about this. And I understand that. The truck description was really specific. Yeah, it was.
Go on walks around here or runs because I'm scared of the bears and snakes and even the coyotes that are around here.
Note that this is 13 days, less than 2 weeks after Summer goes missing. 13 days. First time Candace, and almost one of the last times that she ever talked in depth, really, about what was going on.
Well, whoever has my daughter, I pray and hope that they have not harmed her and they bring her back to us safe and sound.
Just go to the
oh God,
the FBI, the police, and clear it up. I mean, I don't know. It seems kind of elusive.
It's really strange that I've never seen this truck. and I've never heard of it until just recently. But I wish they would come forward and explain themselves. I mean, if you're not a suspect, at least come forward and say what you've seen. She was a tomboy. I shaved my head. She wanted to have her head shaved like me and the boys did.
She tried to shave her head.
She tried
in
to
the
shave her
back
head
and make
herself.
it. I think you can see it in some of the pictures.
It's funny that you said that, and people will take what you said and just go after you about it. But I mean, I understand what you're saying. He does a really good job of coming across as this, oh golly gee shucks, blah, 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 and then you hear the real Don, and that kind of goes out the window. But I've had conversations, like I've said, I've had conversations with Don that were decent conversations. I mean, the subject matter sucked, but I mean, the conversation itself, like he can hold a conversation. But.
And it was getting out of control, so we decided to shave her head off and let it grow back long, and she shaved her head so she wouldn't feel bad, and but it didn't bother her at this point. Well, I knew right away that she was abducted. I knew that right away, and that's what I told them from the beginning. But they have to go through their, I forget the word.
Investigation.
They have to do one step at a time, I guess. But
yeah, that's not the word. But so he said they've been abducted. She'd been abducted, but they got to do that. So they didn't believe him either.
I'm sorry that they had to spend so many man hours in these woods and everything. I've seen them limping and everything else, and I feel for them.
If my child went missing the way that Candace described, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't think right away, unless there was previous problems with people in the house or around the property. And we don't know if that's possible, or we don't know if that's true or not. It's possible. But they claim that it wasn't a problem. But my first thought would be that she walked off, that she got lost, that she went somewhere that she wouldn't. It wouldn't be, oh my God, somebody stole my child in the middle of Timbuktu or wherever.
But I just wish there was a way that neighbors could search neighbors' houses, and then if they're not willing, get a search warrant or something. But there's just no way you can search every single house, in the eastern United States or whatever. But I wish there was a way.
Don't say.
Just thankful for the person or persons that's doing that, out of love, trying to get information and trying to get her found. We thank them from the bottom of our hearts.
That means a lot.
And we thank everybody who's trying so hard and praying so hard. And she's an awesome young lady, and we just want her back. But, yeah, there's always going to be haters,
Jeez, Don. Could you get any more mundane?
Oh, and it's always going to be that way in this world, and we just want to focus on the.
So what I just showed you, the video that I did, the very first video that I ever did about Summer, ever. So in between that video and this interview, I went, oh my God. And it's just seemed to get worse and worse from there.
The good friends and Christian people that are trying to help us and praying for us and praying for Summer. And we thank.
Objectionable hearsay says this case is truly mind-bending, but the things that have gone on, I do believe that it is mind-bending, but I think that the answer is just with a couple people. I don't think that there's this 70 person conspiracy type thing. I think that there are 2, maybe 3 people, up to 6 people that know what happened.
Them from the bottom of our hearts, and that's the kind of people we try to relate with and socialize with.
It's hard to keep a conspiracy like that, with no trail or anything.
So we don't know anything about, no red truck, or we hardly know many of our neighbors. I mean, because we just try to be around good people. I mean, and we do have good people in this area. We found out since this has all happened. We got some real good neighbors and good folks everywhere. But
the most important thing is to bring Summer home safe. I'm sorry that you feel this way about us, but we love our children with everything we have. We've never went without, thanks to Summer's daddy and my husband. He's always provided for us and has worked as much as he could and can and still is. And I'm sorry that you guys feel that way, but that's my baby, and
cheek pinching granny.
Nobody would ever treat her like that as long as I was around. Ever.
She loves to dance. She would always want me. She says, "Daddy, hold my hand so I can twirl." And she would just like to twirl and twirl and twirl until my arm got tired, But I put out there that one of Summer's favorite songs was Godzilla, and they say, and they're jumping all over me about past tense was, well, I'm sorry about that. It's just.
She also liked the song by New Breed. It was called House, My House. She sung that a lot of times when I play it on the TV. She loved to dance.
She liked to think of herself as a princess, and and all that. Like all.
I am curious if she. I mean, I hate to speculate, but my God, that's a million miles.
Young girls do of herself.
She loved to dance.
Yeah, well, she loved to dance. I'm telling you, this has always felt like a eulogy to me. And it seems like there's some reminiscing going on. Like Eric says, I agree with that.
She liked to think of herself as a princess, and and all that, like all young girls do. And
she loved Frozen. She loved to be that Elsa. And
right after Dawn makes a very specific point about past tense, Candace just keeps driving it home.
I think she really loved to be.
Now, there is, and I will say this, there is something to be said that it is possible that Candace is medicated because she seems that she's upset because her daughter's missing or whatever. The problem with that is from eyewitnesses and people that spoke with her that night when Summer went missing, that never seemed to be the case.
Be in church because she felt a lot of love there, and I think you can't explain what that love is, but you feel it and you know it, when you're young, and she felt that there, and she loved everybody in that church, or she loves everybody in that church. I should rephrase that because they'll tear that apart as past tense, and I apologize again for that. I hope she gets to come home, and I hope she gets to be with our church family again.
Our best friend in that church was Robin. She loved her to death.
Yeah, she looked up to.
And then again, the more past tense, and I'm not a language expert. I'm not a body language expert, but good God, if I believe that my child was abducted and 13 days later, I would not be assuming that she's dead or talking about her like she's never coming back. I mean, I could understand having that feeling now after all this time, but 13 days on your first interview? I can't imagine. I cannot imagine.
when
women that were.
She come to that church, she went looking for Robin. That was her favorite person.
Any woman that was professional, that
was pretty,
yeah,
beautiful.
she looked up to those kind of women. She, they were.
It's just like that's, and I don't care what anybody says. It's an absolute shot at Candace.
The word I'm looking for, I can't think of it, but she looked up to them. She'd give them a run for their money every day. She'd give them a run for their money, and there was times.
See, I didn't know before this interview. Candace was in Kingsport shopping for clothes, and you had never known anything was wrong. Wow, really? I didn't know that. It doesn't surprise me. It really doesn't surprise me, but I did not know that. Oh my God. It's unbelievable. And Lou, thank you. I appreciate that super sticker. I really do. Thank you very much.
We'd be, at our boys, like, don't do this, don't do that. And next thing you know, the stick would come up and just whop them, and it'd be like, Summer, don't do that.
Summer was the boss of the family.
She typical girl.
When they get out of line, she'd put them in line.
She'd do her best.
She loved to play in the mud and the water and swing on her swing and enjoy dirt.
When I run the lawnmower around, she would run behind me. When the boys run their bikes around, she, as fast as that little bike could go, she would be behind them running and keeping up with them, no problem. She loved to run. She just loved to run, and she could pull her.
And after Dawn has done the or said, I'm sorry about the past tense, and I'm not like a crazy person about this, but it's all past tense. There's nothing present really. They don't speak of her in the present whatsoever.
Herself up on that swing, her full body weight with her two hands, and she can do that. None of the other boys can do that, but she can.
Was she at school yet?
No, she's going this year.
This was supposed to be her first year.
She's been. We did all the what?
I took care of everything.
Yeah.
I had her already taken all of her shots and registered in the school ready for this year.
Yeah.
I always have wondered if that was ever verified. I'm sure law enforcement looked into it. 13 days, like Mr. Eric said, 13 days. 13 days.
I just never expected for anyone to get a hold of my heart like she has, because I try to guard my heart as much as I can, but she holds my heart in her little hands, and I love her with all my heart. I'd do anything to have her back.
Your little girl.
If there's any way, if you can find it in your heart to please release her somehow. I don't know how.
Well, without Linda, there would be no channel.
You might do that.
I appreciate you saying that.
I mean, because you're probably scared of going to prison for the rest of your life and everything else, I'm sure. But please find it in your heart, have mercy, and find a way of letting her go, and where we can get her back. And just please have mercy on her, and and us, and her brothers. And she's such a loving, good spirit. Please don't hurt her, please.
I mean, that's a fairly, I mean, I understand what you're saying. Just because you go to church doesn't mean that you're a good person. And then just because you don't go to church doesn't mean you're a bad person. I'm not going to disagree with you about that. But, you can take church out of the equation, I think.
Let her come home. My biggest fear is, her being tormented or locked in a dungeon or basement or something, because she loved to be outside all the time. That was her, unfortunately, her downfall. 'Cause a lot of times the boys would be inside and we'd be like, "Where's Summer? Why'd you leave her out there alone? Go get Summer now." And that's happened over and over again. And we'd come out and she would always be close by, but we was always coming up. She had to be outside. She was an outdoor person. And
she loved to be outside.
And I'm so afraid that she's locked away. She's such a loving heart and everything. And I'm afraid that she won't be able to, locked away where she can't be outside or play with a puppy or anything, love nature, and that's my greatest fear, that she's not able to.
I don't know how you could call it her downfall.
Do any of these things anymore, or that she could possibly, I don't want to think she's dead, but it's a possibility. I don't want to
address. I've seen this interview a few times. I've never seen that look.
That's all the negativity. It's a possibility. I don't want to address all the negativity. I just want to focus on the positive, because
initially when Summer had went missing, like a lot of times it does happen, and unfairly, early on as well. But people were going in on them immediately, especially people near the hill.
It's so easy to get, lost in that negativity and stuff, and it's just not worth it. So I'm just, I appreciate y'all, the good things you say, and your prayers. That's awesome.
When my sister came missing, I was in between Arkansas and Tennessee. I don't know all of what happened or what did happen, but I hope that they find her too.
I don't either.
And bring her home safely too.
Well, yeah, there's nothing. She disappeared without a trace. They haven't found anything, haven't found a body, nothing. And when you see cases like that, that's why I lose hope on Summer. I want to keep hope, but sometimes I lose hope.
Lose it.
And
I don't really, to be honest with you.
Maybe we won't never see her again, so I start thinking in past tense. Sorry. But I'm trying to keep hope up. I'm trying to keep my prayers up and all that.
So that, the interview does kind of speak for itself. And just a terrible, terrible situation. I just didn't understand. I don't understand. Let me see here. Let me thank some people. Thank you, new members, as always. Thank you for gifting and joining. And Gail and Eric. Canadian Nana, thank you. Lou, I appreciate the super stickers and chats very much. You guys are very kind. It's sure don't need to be more upset. Yeah. I don't need to get upset. I know. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. You guys have a good night. Appreciate you. Thank you for being here. We got 2.5 hours. That was not bad. Yes, labratarmy@gmail.com.
Josh, love how you see through the BS and call it for what it is. I appreciate you saying that as well. Thank you. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the show, and if you didn't, hit the dislike button. Let me see. I think what else? I'm sure there will people will be. Josh is attacking them. It's all right. Feel how you want. I'm less concerned about their feelings and more concerned about how this situation turns out, because they're still alive. They're still able to do stuff. I'm sure they still have some joy in their life. I've heard them. I've seen it. I'm less concerned about how they feel. Sorry. I just like hurting kids, kids disappearing. I think we're already after dark. I'm tired, boy. Amy, good to see you. We'll do an after dark tomorrow. How's that? Nah. I don't want to play it tonight. I just don't. It's just. Thank you for. I know that a lot of people do appreciate it and connect with it, and trust me, it's just sucks sometimes. So sorry. Y'all have a good night.